We knew the world would not be the same. Few people laughed, few people cried, most were silent. I remember the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. The god Vishnu was trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "And now I've become death, the destroyer of worlds." These words were not uttered by Raymond Burr, as many have speculated, but instead came from a more historical figure, Robert Oppenheimer, the father of the nuclear bomb. Why was this used in a G-trailer released at Comic-Con? Out of all the great quotes in the world, Gareth Edwards and his crew used this one. Why is that? Is it because Robert Oppenheimer created that in which created Godzilla, the nuclear fallout? Oppenheimer knew that the nuclear bomb was capable of destroying the world, and against his will, he created the weapon of mass destruction, the decision that will haunt him the rest of his life. Godzilla's own destroyer, Dr. Serizawa, is the same way. He too created a weapon that could destroy the world if in the wrong hands. And he paid the ultimate price in the end. But why did Gareth Edwards decide on this quote? Godzilla is the result of the creation Robert Oppenheimer set out to make. G is the unwanted child of the unwanted child. Finally, people get it. Finally, someone out there other than us all here on YouTube get it. Godzilla is not just a man in a rubber lizard suit fighting off alien monsters or giant robot versions of himself, but a bloody icon. He was our childhood, and he still remains to be our adulthood. He is the king of the monsters. Hello, everybody. I am Adam Noyes from Chopper Pilot 5, and welcome back to World War G2. Another epic, legendary Godzilla picture chat. Here with me today are three people who were in the last World War G video, and one new but yet somehow old comer to chats on YouTube. Joining me from the previous chat, we have Super DM. Say hi.
Hello.
We have the... I don't even know how to put him into words, but we have the amazing Gorzard.
I'm back!
Hell yeah. And we have Naruhina Fan.
Hi, people.
Hi. And then joining us for a chat and talking about legendary pictures, Godzilla for the first time, even though him and I talk about Godzilla probably more than anybody else here. No offense to anybody. Is Zazubar. Say hi.
Greetings! I am here now.
Awesome. And, of course, today, as I've stated earlier, we're talking about legendary pictures, Godzilla Reboot. And instead of this being a jumbled mess, like the last World War G, I have limited down the topics in which we are to talk about, and they are to be talked about in this order. 1, our reactions. 2, the quote. 3, the poster. 4, the photos. 5, the other monster in the trailer. 6, Gareth Edwards' intents. And 7, whatever the hell is left. So are we ready to commence this amazing chat?
Indeed.
Yeah. So let's start off with our reactions from hearing what came out of Comic-Con that fateful day in 2012.
All the way back 3 days ago.
Oh my god. It seemed like history. I remember waking up from the rubble. No. Okay, so I guess I'll just start this off. My reactions were, to put it politely, holy shit. I was so happy that they were releasing a teaser trailer. To be honest, I was expecting something else. I was expecting them to release cast members. I was expecting them to say that they got a script done, and I was expecting a poster, but I was not expecting a teaser trailer. Anyone else's thoughts?
I was the exact same way. I was at work when Gorzard actually texted me about this, and Adam, I was actually the same way as you were. I didn't know what they were going to release, and I thought it was going to be like the most minuscule, we still don't know anything about the movie, kind of information or images from the film that you could imagine. Like, I thought we were going to get, like, maybe concept art of what G's going to look like, maybe some, maybe we get the location of the city Godzilla's going to be in, stuff like that. But then we got a trailer, and we got a full-fledged poster. I mean, that's pretty big for a movie that's not coming out for 2 years.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I have to say this. I was, to be honest, I was expecting a little bit more, but that teaser trailer, which they still have not released out on the internet, but Zazbar, actually, could you state your hypothesis why they aren't releasing it yet?
Sure. Again, Gorzard texts me a lot, so he was telling me about
King of the Texters.
Yeah, I know. So Gorzard was texting me about how he was messaging Max Borenstein on his Facebook page. Max Borenstein is the man writing the actual script, or wrote, I don't know how far along they are, but whatever. He is working on the script. And Max Borenstein actually messaged Gorzard back saying that to be patient, that Legendary has a big surprise for G fans coming soon, as a result of the hype caused by Comic-Con. I think what's going to happen is this Friday we have a movie coming out that you might have heard of called The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes! Yes! I'm so excited for that too.
So The Dark Knight Rises is also a Legendary Pictures produced film, also produced by Warner Brothers, and I hypothesized that before, like we had last year with the Harry Potter movie in The Dark Knight Rises, because the teaser trailer for that played before Harry Potter, I think we're going to get the official public release of that Godzilla trailer right before The Dark Knight Rises plays. And then it'll go everywhere else after that. So that's my hypothesis.
So Super DM, I'd like to hear what you were reacting, or what reactions were you having?
Well, I'd say I was probably the exact same way. I didn't expect anything else except maybe an update on the script. Maybe if we were lucky, some concept art. But then we get the entire concept trailer. And it was literally out of nowhere when it happened, because I had been watching the internet all day waiting for it. And then I just all of a sudden stumble upon the poster, and then I start hearing all the news. Words cannot describe how happy I was. I think it was a pretty good presentation for them to be this early into the process, for us to get as much information as we have done.
I would have to agree with that, and I also like what Gareth Edwards said, and he says, I've never worked on something so hard or so intensely ever since I lost my virginity, or something like that.
Oh, I love that quote.
It's so funny. Gorzard, well, you made a whole video.
3 to be exact.
3, explaining your emotions. But let's re-emphasize those emotions here. What were your reactions? What was the first reaction that you had when you first heard about the teaser and everything?
My first reactions?
Yeah.
Well, the first words that came out of my mouth were, I knew it! Because, okay, what they released at Comic-Con was technically not a teaser trailer, like Super DM said. It's a conceptual trailer showing fans, this is what we're going to do with the character, this is how he's going to look as a CG character, and this is the tone and direction and style we're going with. And like I said before, I was expecting a CG demo reel, and I guess in a way this conceptual trailer was that in a sort of sense. So I kept on saying I was right, because, but yeah, I was just very happy by reading what Garrett Edwards said at the con, saying that it's going to be more grounded into reality. There's nothing science fiction about this film. It's going to be the type of Godzilla film that we've always wanted to see. So, honestly, I just felt like my feelings have been confirmed because, Chopper, I've been arguing with you in the past that I have faith in Garrett Edwards and he's going to bring the Godzilla that we knew from Gojira. And now that's officially confirmed, I'm at ease at the moment.
And I would have to attest to that. I was wrong. I did not have any faith in Gareth Edwards, or very little faith. In fact, I thought Godzilla 2014 was going to be canceled, to be quite frank. And
Chopper. Can you please say that one more time, please? I just need to savor this moment.
What part?
I was wrong! That's gonna be my official
Gorizard
ringer.
was so true. I personally could not have done it. Gareth Edwards, I bow to you. You have proved me wrong. Keep it up.
And I was the guy in the middle saying, we don't know anything yet. But now we do know something, and it's darn well exciting.
Yeah. So, Naruhina fan, what were your first reactions?
Well, basically, I went outside, bent down, and I screamed.
Yeah.
Pretty much almost the entire part that looked at me funny.
Yes.
Here, and a poster. We finally got something. Yes.
I'm scared.
Me too.
I mean, God, I'm excited, but... Though I will have to be honest, I have never been this excited for a movie. Ever.
I've never spent so many years anticipating a release of a movie.
Well, I'm not so much that, but I mean, I have literally never been, except for The Dark Knight Rises, so pumped.
I have.
Expendables too.
Expendables and, of course, The Dark Knight Rises.
Well, The Dark Knight Rises I'm pumped for, but this isn't about The Dark Knight, goddammit. It's already happening. Shit, it's already happening.
Stay on topic.
Oh, God. No. But just hearing what happened, seeing the photos, seeing the poster, seeing the interview with Gareth Edwards afterwards, oh my God. I was literally sitting there like, we're gonna get a good G movie out of this.
I wanted to bring something up real quick. You're probably gonna get to this later, so I'll just say basically my initial thoughts with this. I was really surprised how much this is the original Gojira's tone. When I was hearing about this movie that they were going for a darker Godzilla, I was expecting something a little bit more like, I don't know, something like Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, or maybe 84, or Biollante, something with that kind of tone. Like, I expected the more classic Godzilla, just with kind of a darker, modern twist to that. And I don't think we got that. I actually think we got something even more exciting. We got the original intention of Shigeru Kayama, Ishiro Honda, Tomoyuki Tanaka, all the original producers. We got a very dark, grounded Godzilla that's very much so embedded in not current, but real events. I was not only surprised by that, but I was even more excited for the movie by that.
You're Super Dan, do you have any thoughts on that?
I agree. Not much to add to that. I think I'm excited about the tone that they're going for. Of course, it'll be even better when I actually get to see the trailer. But
right.
Correct.
I'm just going off what I've heard. But yeah.
I mean, me personally, and I'm probably going to say this a lot, I still really want this to be a sequel to the original, but I'm probably going to get haters for this, no doubt, because of the comment, the one little comment that I left on Gorazard's video, saying how, as of right now, I'm not really liking this design. Of course, I can't see it that much, but I don't really like it as of what I'm seeing, even though it's probably going to get better. And I got like 1 million hate comments on that. And probably I've become the most hated person on that video, because everybody's bringing me up on that video.
Well, Adam, you're the most hated person except for the Zilla fanboys.
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Think of it like this. Zanzibar is Kirk, I'm Spock, and you're Scotty.
I don't like that.
No, I'm just kidding.
Just get to hang out in that little room and beat people.
I'm heartbroken.
He gets the little green guy too.
I'm heartbroken now. I don't know if I can go on.
Alright, you can be
You
Spock.
won! Oh, man!
Adam, here's something to cheer you up. According to a lot of the descriptions, there's a lot of blood in this Godzilla movie.
Yay! Finally, somebody gets it.
I know, right?
I like blood. Okay, so back to. Do any of you have any final thoughts before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I do. I have one thing.
Okay. Go
I
ahead.
see this movie being rated R.
No, I don't think that.
No, I don't think so at all.
I think
I
it's
really
going
hope
to
they don't do it rated R, because honestly, that's... Okay, as much as that will bring a lot of realism to the film, I don't think an R-rated film would suit Godzilla.
be. Dude,
I don't know if I go that far with it, but I would say...
Gorazard, you're raping my heart. Gorazard, you realize that the whole intent of my first Godzilla reboot is to
Adam,
be
I will
rated
yell at
R.
you. Adam, I will yell at you.
Alright, tell me later.
Okay. I just broke a
Adam is
pencil.
briefly turning-
I just broke a pencil.
These are your rules, Adam. We're just...
Oh, God.
Rules that we agreed with.
Oh, Jesus, this is the funniest thing I've ever done.
It's all gang up on Adam Day, I guess.
No, it's
Yeah.
because you doubted the design.
You guys all signed up for this, didn't you? You guys are all coming after me.
Maybe.
Yes.
No!
Yes, we have this big old petition.
No!
I love Gorazard. He's like, maybe.
You'll never know.
All right, so on to the next topic. The quote that is in the trailer. People can just talk at random. What were your thoughts of that quote? Why do you think they used that quote?
I think it's really fitting because, as you described in your introduction, Oppenheimer is pretty much the granddaddy of Godzilla. So I think it fit really well. I think it matches the tone that they're going for, and I think if that quote pops up in the actual movie, that would be interesting.
I'm just glad that they're taking it back to the nuclear allegory.
Yeah, and
That's
that,
a really
using
big thing
that
I wanted to see
quote,
in this movie.
right? Using that quote proves that they're going back to the nuclear allegory.
Yeah.
Gorazard, your thoughts?
Well, like Super DM said, I think it's very fitting because Robert Oppenheimer says in the quote that he's describing the atomic bomb from the Indian. What's the name of that thing that he-
the Hindu scripture, the Mahatava. What was it? The Mahatava.
was it
Lots of
The Bhagavad. Oh yeah, the Bhagavad.
Whatever.
The
Okay,
Bhagavad Gita. There we go.
The thing, the Indian scripture. I'm just gonna call it that. The Indian scripture.
It's Hindu.
Okay. The whole thing about the allegory of the Indian god Vishnu taking on different forms and now taking in the form of the atomic bomb and becoming deaf. It's just very fitting. So, allegory-wise, the god Vishnu has taken the form of Godzilla. So I can really see how fitting it is for Garrett Edwards to use that for the trailer and hopefully the film.
judging by that quote, I don't think we're going to see Godzilla saving any kids in this movie.
Yeah.
He's not Gamera.
Oh, and I heard about the Gamera reboot too, and that's making me pissed. But back on topic. Narahina fan, you have any thoughts?
It's very fitting because he is the grandfather. He is the father of the original atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. He is the one who built these bombs, and he knows what these things have done and what power they held.
What I find interesting about this quote is, before even I heard that it was in this trailer, I have seen the video where Robert Oppenheimer is speaking into the camera, what he's saying in the trailer. And it's very haunting and very sad because he's crying.
Yep.
He is so ashamed of himself by what he's made. He'll never be able to forgive himself, ever.
I think, judging by that and the use of the quote and how we see Godzilla in this movie, I'm excited that we're going to get the Godzilla that I love, of the monster who's out for revenge against humanity for what they've done.
Yes.
They have to pay for their mistakes. And I'm actually kind of with Adam on the whole idea of, I really hope that this isn't the first time Godzilla's appeared. I really hope that they take it back to the 50s and have Godzilla be born there and have, maybe not necessarily the first movie scene by scene, but have reference to some attack that happened in the 50s, and then he's coming back now. And then you can use Godzilla to explore what's the relevance of atomic weapons now.
Yeah, and especially the situation that's going on in Iran right now. I don't know if any of you guys have been paying attention to this at all, but it would fit well.
Yeah.
And even the tsunami in Japan, that risk of that nuclear reactor in Fukushima, the Fukushima 50, which I hope actually gets made into a movie, the Fukushima 50, but it all fits together. It's happening again. The nuclear arms race is happening again.
Other movie monsters, I think it's a safe bet we're going to get that kind of exploration of themes with Godzilla.
I hope so. And I think we're going to get it.
Yeah, me too.
I now officially believe that we're going to get a good Godzilla movie here. We're not going to be let down. Gorazard's making no comment. That's a shock.
I was distracted.
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
I'm back.
Okay. For those of us who don't know what's going on in Iran, can you give us a brief description of what is going on? Because I haven't been following the news.
Oh wow, Gorazard. You might as well have just said, "Well, what's going on in Iran?" What's going on in Iran? Iran, they're trying to build a nuclear missile, and they now have nuclear capabilities. They can build one.
There's a big fear that we're on the verge of World War III.
Yes.
Oh. Scary.
Yeah.
Get on board, Gorazard.
I'm on my PS3 all day.
Hey man, I was playing Dead Island all day. That is very educational to current events.
Yeah.
Teaches us how to survive zombie attacks.
Yeah, and teaches us not to eat bath salt. But if anybody understands...
Back to the subject.
Okay, back to subject. That quote... I mean, I told this to Zazabar earlier. That quote has literally not left my head since I first heard it. Or since it first came back up with the Godzilla trailer. And it's so haunting, the fact that they didn't choose Raymond Burr or some quote that Orson Welles read or something of that line, but instead said something that somebody actually spoke. That somebody was actually reflecting on their own doing. And Robert Oppenheimer is foreshadowing what's going to wind up happening with these nuclear bombs, and it's going to lead to our own destruction. And Godzilla is our own destruction.
I hope that the quote comes up in the movie and that it winds up being foreshadowing for what's going to happen in the movie, because then it would be kind of like the thing that they used at the beginning of King Kong.
Yeah. It was the quote from King Kong. The poem from King Kong is, and lo, Beast looked upon the face of beauty, and beauty stayed his hand, and from that day forward he was the one dead.
Right, and that quote basically winds up being the entire theme of the entire movie. I'm kind of hoping that's what they're doing with this. Like, they're giving us a taste of what they want to put across.
Yeah, I honestly think that we're going to get that.
Yeah.
I hope, I pray so, but I think we are.
I think it's a safe bet with what Gareth Edwards has done with Monsters. I think it's not only a safe bet, I almost think it's a guarantee that we're not going to just get a good Godzilla movie. I honestly think we're going to get an exceptional Godzilla movie.
Yes. Before we move on to the next topic, does anybody else have anything they wish to bring up about the quote?
It's epic.
Yes. What'd you say, Gorzard?
I said I have one last thing to say on the.
Go for it.
Okay, when I read
now
online,
shut up. No, go ahead, Gorzard.
Alright, when I read online that the quote that Robert Oppenheimer used was inserted into the trailer, it just surprised me, because I've had conversations with other fans that there should be like a quote, that quote from Robert Oppenheimer in the film, and ironically somehow I don't know if Gareth Edwards heard the fans, but it ended up going into the trailer. And I've also seen some fan-made trailers of people using that quote in their own fan-made trailer, so it just surprised me a little bit that that quote made it into Godzilla 3D in some way.
Well, it is possible that Gareth Edwards could have maybe even seen some of these and got inspired, or I mean, come on, it's a great, haunting, chilling quote.
Right, and it fits too, so I also wouldn't see why he wouldn't want to put it in the film either.
I mean, the video, I can't really even put it into words here. The video, I sent a link to Zanzibar, I believe.
The one that Kyle Gilmore did?
The one of actual Robert Oppenheimer saying that line.
Yes,
and he's crying.
Yeah, it's a very haunting.
You can see the tears falling from his eyes. He is so ashamed of himself for what he created.
Yeah.
And seeing that video, I almost wish that they use it in the final movie. Like, don't even just quote it or just use the dialogue. Like, use the actual video.
I think they should have that playing in the opening credits.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, that they should have a whole montage of kind of the history of the Cold War, obviously the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and then this is going to start to get into my Godzilla movie. I'm not going to talk about it exactly. I think they should then move into that first attack that I think they should have.
I think that's what they're going to do for some reason. I have a funny feeling that what you just said, Zanzibar, is exactly how they're going to open the film with. I mean, how else can you open up a modern-day Godzilla film with the nuclear aspects drawn into it?
Yeah. I want to say one more thing
you
about...
open with a nuclear explosion? Yeah,
what?
Sure.
I just want to say one more thing. You know how Frankenstein is called the modern Prometheus?
Right.
Yeah.
Dr. Frankenstein brought the power of the gods down upon himself and gave life back to the dead. I would call Godzilla the modern Frankenstein. We've got people meddling with godlike powers, and then a monster is born from that, and that monster terrorizes them. And I think that we're really going to get a intellectual, as Adam's been saying, haunting Godzilla film from this that really doesn't take the nuclear aspect of this lightly, like Field 98 did. It's not just going to use the atomic things as a contrivance to create the monster. It's going to be given weight, and it's going to be the whole center point of the movie's themes.
Now that's good that you brought this up. This could lead to some sort of discussions. Super DM, what are your thoughts on what Zanzibar just said?
do. They need to make sure that they match the tone about. And I agree that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I agree that this is probably the new Frankenstein. Like, I can see that point, and I like stories that do that sort of. The whole quote from Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, you know, they were so busy wondering about what they could do that they didn't stop to think about what if they should.
Oh yeah, totally.
Gorzard? Thoughts?
I agree too. I said before that I kind of think of Godzilla as this modern day Frankenstein story, and that's why I don't see, as some people would say that the original Gojira is a ripoff of the Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, Ray Harryhausen. I don't see it as that at all. I see it more as an inspirational science fiction story with this whole Frankenstein element to it, but with the giant monster sitting in for the monster.
Right. Narahina fan. Your thoughts? Are you there?
Go ahead, Chris.
Well, I agree with you saying that the one thing I want to say, I want to call upon from Jurassic Park. They no, it's what they have. So they actually have.
Narahina, you're cutting out an awful lot.
I know, I can't even understand what you're saying.
I heard Jurassic Park and that's it.
Yeah, that's all I heard too.
Sorry, Narahina fan is on his cell phone again. He's having problems with his internet. So I'm sorry about the audio. Hopefully the rest of us are coming in fine. But Narahina fan, could you say that again?
Yeah, I was quoting from Jurassic Park with Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Goldblum, how to say his last name?
Okay.
Remember what he said?
Which one?
Telling Dr. Hammond.
Oh, the one where he's like, we're so busy trying to find out what we can do, we're not asking ourselves what we should do.
No, I was quoting the other one. I think.
Are we talking about Life Will Find a Way?
Oh, they packaged it.
Oh, the lunchbox quote.
Yeah, they want to sell it. They want to sell it.
Yeah.
What's the lunchbox quote?
Jeff Goldblum
like
is in the...
they packaged it and they slapped it on a plastic lunchbox and now they're selling it. They want to sell it.
Oh.
When they're at the dinner table.
Okay. Now I remember. Okay.
Radioactive now. They're just a normal T-Rex.
Oh, now I understand. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Exactly. Instead of being a T-Rex that you have to worry about, now we got this mutated T-Rex running around that basically wants his revenge on us because we damned him to his life twice in a row. Which is thing I can understand. He wants revenge and we are to pay for our sins.
That brings me to one final point that Chris has kind of led me into. I don't think we're going to get much of a quote-unquote... I don't think Godzilla's going to really have a personality in this.
Oh yeah, you brought this up before to me. Yeah.
I think that we're more going to get the original Gojira. He's a mindless... Not a mindless, but he's a soulless, emotionless killing machine. Like, I don't think we're going to get that kind of, sympathy... Well, maybe not sympathy, but, like, you know, emotion from him. I don't think we're going to see this Godzilla crying.
Oh, like in 91. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was I? Shit. What was I going to say? It was a good point too.
Damn.
I'm bummed out now. Had something to do about the Godzilla character. Oh yeah, I let one of my friends on Facebook was noticing how I was just posting everything in my life right now is Godzilla. And he was like, you know what, Adam? I've had it. May I borrow the original Godzilla? And I said, sure. And I let him borrow it. And he gave it back to me. And he said, I never thought it would be that good. And then I was also reading comments that many professors in colleges that teach sort of like nuclear, I don't really know, but like effects of radiation and stuff like that, make their students watch this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
And I hope...
What classes that deal with Japan post-World War II?
Right.
Film.
And I'm hoping that we can get something like that with the reboot. Or the remake, or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah. A reimagining. Well, maybe not reimagining, but a new story.
A new story. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. And that is the poster. I want to start out with this one.
It's got words.
The poster is perfect. It's ominous. Its colors are dark. Gojira is written in Japanese in what I believe to be blood in the background, which looks almost identical to Shigeru Kayama's first draft of the script, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, he wrote on it with paint, and it looks just like that.
Yeah, and then Godzilla is written in these great formats, and it looks so good and so ominous, and yet it captures the emotions I think we're going to get with this Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
With the poster, I'm looking at the post when you said it.
Right.
It does everything you want a teaser poster to do, in that it doesn't reveal too much. It hurts your appetite. It makes you want to see more. Exactly.
What it did for me was reaffirm that this is going to be a movie for the fans, by the fans, but also to show people why we are fans. That's what the poster and the trailer came off to me as, but the poster was surprisingly a big part of this. For such a simple poster, it got a lot of advertising and description of this film done for me, with a couple of words on there.
Yeah, it hardly has any words on it at all.
No, well, not really aside from the title, the production company, and the director, but just by the design and the image, I got a description that this is going to be a movie proving to people why Godzilla fans exist. In that it's going to be a movie, basically saying, here's all of this awesome reference for the fans, all this showing that we respect the fans and we are fans ourselves. But then we also have to show people why we are fans. So basically, we're going to give them the Godzilla movie that we want, that will also prove to them why Godzilla is a worthwhile character.
Super Dan, you have, well, you've already spoken, but you have any thoughts on what Zazbar just said?
Just that I agree.
Gorzard, you haven't really spoken about the poster here.
Okay, I'm not saying the poster is bad. I mean, it's okay, but it's just too plain for me. I mean, yeah, we've already seen posters with the just the titles and whatnot, but I don't know. I was expecting more, at least like Godzilla's spines or his.
Were you expecting
tail.
something? Were you expecting something that looked kind of like the Criterion Collection Blu-ray?
Something like that, but I expected something more than just the title of the movie.
That's honestly all I expected.
I expect something like that from the actual poster, but since this is just a teaser poster, I think it did exactly what you said.
Yeah, I have to agree with Super DM. I mean, for a teaser poster, it does everything that it's supposed to.
Yeah,
because if you don't know what Godzilla is, you look at this poster and you're like, well, what the fuck is this? And that's what it's supposed to make you do. It's supposed to make you want to go home, look it up. It's supposed to make you ask questions to other people. And if you ask questions to other people, then they're going to get curious themselves. And this poster does that perfectly.
It reminds me of the '89 Batman poster, which was basically the Batman logo and the date the movie was coming out.
Yes, and I love that poster.
And I think that this movie is the same way. It's like, oh, a new Godzilla movie's coming out?
No way.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
I want to see what this thing's about. Let me go home and Google it. See, I'm with you guys when it's enticing. I would say, as someone who's aching to see more from this movie than we've been getting, I would agree with Gorzer that I wanted to see a little more, but I was almost happier with what we got because it almost built up my hype more. Because it's so simple, but it tells so much in a couple of little graphics. So honestly, basically, what I'm going to sum up my feelings to the poster is I want to see the movie now.
Right.
Even though it doesn't even exist yet.
I am so hyped because this would literally be like the first time that I see my icon, my number one icon, on the big screen.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And that would make my life. If it's good, which I think it will be. But, Narhina fan, do you have any thoughts on the poster?
Well, I love the poster because it doesn't reveal too much. And I'm keeping it all a complete see what Godzilla's gonna look like. And where have we ever seen that before?
Yeah. You know what would be interesting is if they had, like, the same wording and everything, but what if you just saw, like, you know on Godzilla 2000 when you get the close-up on Godzilla's eye?
Yeah.
And then the title pops up? What if we got something like that?
I wouldn't want it to be the eye. I want it to be something, like Warzard said, maybe a spine.
Well, I'm not just saying it had to be the eye. I'm just saying a close-up on his body.
Yeah.
Or even something reminiscent of the opening credits of Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, where you get the close-up on, like, the skin of all the monsters.
They did that in GMK too as a tribute.
As a tribute to that.
Or maybe something like that shot in the Always 2 cameo where you just see the tail like destroy those buildings.
Yeah.
I was actually going to say the tail would be also a nice way to do it. Like maybe just the tail curving into frame barely. And you're just like, oh, that's a monster tail. What the hell is this?
I do like the Criterion Collection poster. I would love that to be like something close to the actual theatrical poster, just darker.
And in live action, not a well, maybe an art, but I don't know.
Well, either way, I'd like it. But I want it to have darker colors instead of that bright orange and red that they use.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if it kind of looked like the Dark Knight Rises poster where Bane is walking away from the destroyed Batman mask.
But how
and if we use those same colors.
Oh, in terms of colors, yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts about the poster?
I want something more.
So Gorzard wants something more.
Yes. I mean, I honestly hate teasers in any way, whether it's a teaser trailer, teaser poster, because it's exactly what it is, a teaser.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I want something. I'm just a person that wants more.
I want to see this damn movie now.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Zilla fans.
They don't even equate here. As I said in the comments on my LP Godzilla video, by 2014 they'll be irrelevant.
Yeah. Zilla fans will just be put to shame.
They just won't even exist anymore because that movie will just be meaningless.
I honestly think that they're just going to be converted.
No, they won't.
That's what this movie's going to do. Well, maybe not Zilla fans, but ordinary people who don't.
Ordinary people will be like, "Oh, well, this is interesting."
Yeah, people who know the name Godzilla but nothing else.
People who aren't die-hard 98 fans, but they do enjoy it, will probably see this and just flip out over it and, Fuck that other movie.
I just can't, I know this is not very, very relevant, but I just can't even believe that there are diehard 98 fans.
I know.
neither.
And those diehard diehard 98 fans will be like, oh, this is the stupidest movie ever. It has no allegorical meaning at all. It's so stupid. These guys are stupid.
Godzilla didn't lay any eggs in the movie.
That's ridiculous. He's not asexual. That's just ridiculous. How dare he not be asexual? How dare he needs to be born pregnant and give birth to millions of little tiny velociraptor things totally ripping off Jurassic Park.
Where are the French?
But I personally think the poster's awesome.
I do too.
Okay, so on to the next topic. The leaked photos. Oh, good God.
Technically, there's only just one leaked photo.
Well, there's like 3 or 4 now.
Yeah, but it's all the same image, just at different angles.
So
And that's
technically,
why
right.
I'm thinking Legendary Pictures is behind it.
You think?
Well, I don't know if it's the one, at least the one I showed in my video, I don't think so, because it's even grainier than the one Gorzard showed, and also you can see the screen, so I don't think so. Maybe the one that Gorzard showed, because that was a lot clearer.
Yeah. And from what you guys saw in the photo, what were your thoughts? Any of you can start.
Holy shit, that's Godzilla.
Yeah, those were my thoughts too. Honestly, I thought to myself, yes, they got it right. They got the design right. They're on the right track, and I want to see the whole body. I already saw the head. They got it right. I want to see how the rest of the body looks.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I don't know if you want to talk about the design specifically or just the impact we have, but really the only thing that came to my mind was, oh my god, they actually brought the real Godzilla into American CGI, and it doesn't look terrible.
Super DM, your thoughts?
Well, given the bad quality of the pictures, I'm trying not to speculate too much. But my first reaction was just like, he's back.
That was mine too. I was going to say that. I'm like, he's back.
The real G has returned.
Yeah, and as much as I commented that little tiny thing, what the fuck, YouTube? I commented on that thing, and I'm going to bring this up now on Gorzard's video. Looking at that photo, I'm not sure if it's just the angle or something, but I'm not really liking the forehead.
Well,
But
see,
of course, it's at a funky angle. It's at a funky angle, being taken from a camera, taking a picture of the screen itself.
Also, it doesn't help that there's actually dust in the frame.
And so I'm like, yeah, well, I can't really see the whole thing. And the other thing that's probably going to be bugging me the most watching this movie when it's released, and judging by the photos and stuff like that, and I hate to say this, but it's the fact that Godzilla is in CG, and I can't picture him in CG.
Yep.
And I hate the fact that I can't picture him in CG. I hate that.
But the thing is, though, it's not any of our faults. Because I'm with you, man. I can't see it either. It's just the fact that we were exposed to him through the Suitimation. So that's what Godzilla is to us. And for me personally, it's going to be, I don't want to say impossible, but it's going to be challenging for me to say fully that's the real Godzilla.
Yes.
In CG.
I'll have to agree with you, Zanzibar.
It's going to be very hard for me just because I said this in my practical effects versus CGI video. That's just the way the brain works. It picks an image, and when you say a word, that's what comes to your mind. And for me, it's not CGI.
Yeah, to me, I know it's cliched and it's wrong, but to me, it is literally the practical effects. It's the man in a suit. It's the miniature buildings. It's the miniature tanks.
Yep, I'm the same way.
I'm gonna have to disagree with the both of you. I can honestly picture Godzilla as a CG character. I mean, I can already picture what the new Godzilla is actually gonna look like. I know I said I want to see what he looks like in the trailer, but I can already tell what he's going to look like. But I think Godzilla is just a character that was born to be CG. At the time, Toho didn't have the money to make him realistic, with the stop motion and whatnot. But nowadays, with computer animations, I think if Toho did bring Godzilla back at Toho Studios instead of Warner and Legendary Pictures, I probably did think they're probably going to try, for once, a CG Godzilla for a full film.
Well,
I don't really agree.
Me neither. Super DM.
I think it's going to be interesting to see. I can't agree with the idea that Godzilla was born to be CG, and it's going to be difficult to adjust to, but if they do it right, I think I'll be able to overcome that. I'm really hoping they go with some form of motion capture instead of just doing
me too.
I know that because it's just like a not teaser trailer, but you know what I mean, that they couldn't use the motion capture, so it's going to look a bit more fake. I guess
it's gonna look more like a video game.
Yeah, and I'm expecting it to look that way. But I'm still going to be happy once they release that teaser. I'm still going to be unbelievably happy. But I know that once the movie's going to be done, whatever glitches that are in the teaser, they're going to fix completely.
For me, it's going to be the same thing I have with the new Spider-Man costume that was in The Amazing Spider-Man, and me and Gorzard actually had a huge chat about this that I'll be releasing sometime soon. It took me the entire movie to get used to that new suit because it is such a radical change from the classic Spider-Man costume. And I feel like it's going to be the same thing with seeing Godzilla in CG for me. It's going to take the whole movie, but I'm eventually going to get used to it.
Yeah, it's probably going to be the same way with me.
And I don't know if it's going to be, that's the real Godzilla. I don't know if I'm going to go that far with it, but it's going to, I'll be able to say with at least some form of confidence, yeah, that's Godzilla.
And I know Legendary Pictures aren't going to do this, unfortunately, but if they only went to Weta.
Oh, yeah.
If I heard that they went to Weta for the visual effects, I would be like, we're gonna get real Godzilla. I mean, do you know what I mean by that? We're not just gonna look at the screen and say, hey, that's CG.
It would have definitely been motion capture.
And the skin probably would have felt like skin.
Yeah. I think the big problem with classic, animated CGI is that it doesn't look like a real creature to me.
Yeah, like my example, and Gorzard, you're going to kill me for this, but I'm going to look at the two Clash of the Titans movies, Clash and Wrath. The final monsters that are in those are probably going to look like what Godzilla's going to look like, or at least move like Godzilla's going to look like. More specifically, the Kraken from Clash of the Titans. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and I'm with you. The problem is that there's nothing organic behind it to give it a sense of life.
Yeah.
So it's gonna move. I say it's gonna. Excuse me. I fear it's gonna move very artificially.
Yeah, and I don't want that. And that's why I love motion capture so much. Is because it gives that organic life and soul to a CG character. And that's why movies like Avatar, as much as I hate it,
Caesar.
Yeah, Caesar, Kong, Gollum from The Lord of the Rings are so good.
Yeah.
Because they're all played by an actor. And they all just happen to be played by the same actor, most of them. But,
I know, that's so weird, right?
I know.
Weta CG is so good that you don't get as much of a sense of, oh, that's fake.
Oh, that's
I never really get that feeling when I watch Lord of the Rings. Like, you get completely immersed.
And in King Kong, there's just the first time you ever really get, you get the close-up on Kong's eyes and you just see his face. I was looking at that in theaters and being like, I feel like I could reach out and touch that. With normal CG, I don't get that. And I always go to the Clash of the Titans movies. Because, don't get me wrong, those have amazing visual effects. They have shitty-ass stories. They have shitty-ass plots. They have shitty-ass characters. But the visual effects are pretty decent. But
holy shit, that action scene is badass.
Right. But this, to me, they are missing the soul behind the Kraken, behind the thing at the ending of Wrath. The
Kronos.
Yeah, Kronos. Thank you. Do you guys know what I'm trying to get across?
Yeah.
Gorzard, you shut up. I'm worried. And with your picture, with your Skype picture, I think you're going to kill me with it.
It's okay. I have a thing for bad movies. I mean, I did like Doom also. So I'm used to it.
You're not gonna defend yourself?
No, I mean, I do agree that Clash and Wrath are, if you think about it real hard, they are technically bad movies. Because there's no craft or artistic value behind them, like in the original, even though Zazabar might disagree with me.
I don't hate that movie, I just don't love it like everyone else seems
The only part in that movie that there are two parts is the Kraken scene and the Medusa scene on the original. The Medusa scene on the original one, way better than that piece of crap that we got in
the original scene is legitimately scary.
And it still is.
I love the way it's lit.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Jesus Christ! Not again! Adam, shut up. Back to Godzilla.
Oh yeah. I'd like to say something if Gorzar doesn't want to continue defending himself. I'd like to say something. Oh, okay. Alright, I'd like to say something. Again, I keep calling back to this, but it's ironic that I did this video today, with the whole practical effects versus CGI video I did.
I might as well put it in the description.
Godzilla constantly in that video. And the big thing for me was that the big sole reason I prefer I prefer practical effects, mainly suit effects, to CGI, is because when you're using a suit or you're using stop motion, you're using an actual thing that's in front of the camera, and it's part of the same live-action plane of reality as the buildings and, in some cases, as the people in the shot. They look like they belong as part of the same plane of reality.
Best example I can think of to defend that is the scene on Godzilla 2000 where the car almost drives off the edge, and you see Godzilla right in front of them.
Yeah. Also for me, just to point Godzilla as the example, in all the classic Godzilla films, you know, from 54 to Final Wars even, when you see Godzilla crash into a building, that's a real thing crashing into another real thing.
Right.
You feel the collision of it. I don't get that effect with CGI.
Or at least as much.
No, I've never. Well, the closest thing for me is when Kong is bursting from the wall into 05 King Kong.
Because I felt, yeah, that was the example I was going to bring up too, where I actually felt like something was bursting through that wall.
Yeah. Although there are even some moments in that, when this isn't really a criticism, this is just the general problem with CGI, is that it feels like things don't have weight, and the biggest thing for me is the Transformers movies, where you see these giant robots flying around like ninjas.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Narahina fan, you haven't spoken for a while.
For me, how I see Godzilla is, I'm looking at the picture for the trailer right now. I've been looking at it for I don't know how long. But to me, it looks like they're using 3 different designs in it from 3 of my most favorite movies. I see a little bit the classic signs. I see like a head, and more of the GMK as a design for the body.
Oh. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. I see that in that design too. I see especially GMK. Again, we can't see the face, but just the way the body looks, it reminds me very much of GMK.
No, I can't see enough of the body or face, period, for me to say that.
I don't know if I'm the only one who realized this, but does anyone else think that the Godzilla head in the leaked photo resembles a little bit of that floating Godzilla head that was debunked by Brian Rogers a few years ago?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I didn't get that impression.
You know what I was thinking of when I first saw it? I was thinking Final Wars Anguirus.
We're talking about the head, right? The model cast that was debunked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that a lot. And even the Final Wars Godzilla head, I can see.
And that I don't like.
I don't hate that design. I actually kind of like it, but
I hate it with a passion. Hate it.
I know you do. But luckily for you, this thing looks nothing like that, in my opinion.
Yes.
It
It doesn't have that whole rat aspect to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say rat alligator thing. Yeah.
I have one problem with what we can see as quote unquote the design. For me, it's the spines. They look way too thin.
Well, it looks to me, Zazabar, from the picture that it definitely is a close headshot. And so naturally, with other designs, it goes smaller slowly to bigger. But,
Yeah, but
I can see your point. And
Yeah,
to be
it's
honest,
not-
I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, for me, it's not the size. It's the fact that they look really like, I don't want to say tiny, but they look thin. You know?
Well, I'm a fan of the G2000, the 2000 suit spikes. Because
Yeah,
they just look,
I like that. I like those spikes too. But
they just look amazing. But
if I had to choose for a reboot, I would go with the classic, as has been quoted by fans, maple leaf spines.
oh, like the one from the 62 suit up.
Yeah, but it's more of a general thing. Like that's just the basic, classic Godzilla design. We even had it in the '90s with the spines.
Yeah, and you see, that was actually my one complaint with those suits were those spikes.
Oh, really?
Because they were round, and I didn't want them round. I want them sharp and pointy, and almost like they'd been hit with something to make them all weird looking.
I don't know. Call me nostalgic. I like the maple fin designs.
Well, I think, in my opinion, they should go more like the 1991 Godzilla suit spines are.
Yeah, you see, I don't want that. I personally don't want that. They could go with the body, sure. Like, if they made an exact copy in CG of that body, I would be the happiest motherfucker on the face of the planet. But,
I'm with you.
We'll see. I guess the only thing that we can really say is we'll see. And again, now that I have faith in Gareth Edwards and the crew, I'm pretty sure we're going to get, if not a perfect, well, nothing's perfect, but if not something close to what we want, no matter what, it is not Ronald Emmerich's design.
No, at the very least, I think we can say, yeah, that looks like Godzilla.
Right. And my biggest fear with this one, in terms of design, is I'm afraid that they're going to make the spikes too small.
I think that's impossible, even for redesigning Godzilla.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I honestly don't think you could make Godzilla's spines small in any way. I mean, I do admit that Ricardo Delgado Godzilla had some small spines, but
Oh my god, I hate
it's pretty clear they're going for the upright Godzilla in this one. And
Thank God.
I honestly think that we're gonna get big spines. Well, not really big spines, but just the traditional spines, not too small and not too big.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up this question that I brought up in the First World War G. What do you want your Godzilla's proportions to be? Do you want them to be upright or hunched over? Well, I mean, in terms of hunched over, I mean G2000 hunched over, not like Ronald Emmerich's. I'll start and say I want mine to be upright. Very much, I want them to stand very much erect. Because for me, as I stated in World War G, the first one, to me that makes me almost feel like, yeah, he's the king of the monster and he knows it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I want my Godzilla erect too. I'm with you, dude. I just want the 91 design in CG. That's what I want. I don't care what. I just want that. No compromising. I want that design in CG.
Super DN?
Yeah, I like Godzilla to be mostly upright. I don't mind if there's a slight slant, like how some of them are mostly upright, but like the 2002-2003 suit from like that one. Yeah, I don't.
Like, that one
mind
to me has a good compromise.
Yeah, I like a slight slant like that, but if I have to pick one over the other, I'd say have him stand tall.
Gorzard?
I'm gonna have to stick by my original decision. I want my Godzilla to be like hunched over, but not like the 2000 Godzilla, more like the GMK Godzilla.
That one's hunched over?
A little bit.
A little bit, yeah, you can tell.
Especially
Kind of like what I was just saying.
See, I don't consider that one to be a hunched over Godzilla suit.
It is, especially in hips.
Yeah, I really don't see that one being hunched over.
Because when he's walking, his head's lowered almost as if he's hunched over. It's almost like as if he's looking for something.
I can see that a little bit. I'm thinking of one shot in particular. Right after he first shows up and he's walking inside that power plant. It looks like he's like looking for something inside the power plant.
Narhina fan.
Me, I prefer mine to be more. I want mine like the 91 Godzilla, straight up, with his back right up, just up, as you can see on my profile picture.
Yes. And you know, here's the thing too. I know how, like, Zazavar, you said this, and quite frankly I agree with you that we don't think we're going to get a character development for Godzilla in this movie, which I'm kind of for. I want that. I want this one to be the uncharacteristic Godzilla that just kills everybody. But you can still have him feel like he's the king of the monsters without giving him like any sort of character development, simply by the way how he walks.
I mean, you can give him a presence. I just don't want to see a Godzilla that has like a wide range of emotions. Basically, anger and sadness. That's what I think they should put in.
Yeah. And my example, I have to go back to the 1991 design. That's the first time that Godzilla ever like stepped foot on land. And it's almost like you get a feeling that Godzilla knows that he can kick ass.
They do a montage of how big he is.
And then I love his eyes because they look angry. And then I love those lines. What was it? Just look at that thing. There's no way it's going to help us.
Yeah.
It's gotten much bigger. Yeah, he was made with modern nuclear weapons this time. It's only natural that he's bigger than he was before.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love
Besides, more powerful because the sword stops energy.
Huh?
Oh God! What is that?
I love that line. Oh God! What is that?
I love that whole scene.
Let me just say this. That was the first time really Akira Ifukube came back to film composing, because he retired for a while.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And let me tell you this. He came back with a roar.
Indeed.
With that movie.
Yeah.
We're not here to talk about Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, god damn it. We're here to talk about the 2012 reboot.
2014.
Yeah, sorry. Does anybody have anything else they want to bring up about the Godzilla design or the photos?
Yeah, and I don't know if we're gonna get to this, but everyone's saying that at the top right corner they see King Ghidorah.
Oh my god, yeah. And I don't see it at all.
Yeah, it's just dust and debris. I don't know if the people who are claiming this have even read the trailer descriptions. There is no description for a three-headed golden dragon. It's just dust and debris.
And I don't think they go with King Ghidorah either, because I don't think Legendary Pictures is going to get a copyrighted monster.
No, we're getting the original ones for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, it's too early to put King Ghidorah in the reboot.
Yeah, I think if this movie does well,
I think they have the rights for King Ghidorah. I think they just have the rights for Godzilla.
If this movie does well, and we get a series out of it, I think eventually we're going to start seeing Godzilla fight previous enemies. Toho created enemies, but not right now.
Oh, definitely. If this movie does good money, but not in this movie. We're going to get all original ones, I think.
Yeah.
I heard somebody else say that they thought he had a volcano on his back, but I'm pretty sure that's just smoke behind his spike.
Oh, I am glad you brought that up, because I had an argument with a couple people this morning who say, hey, that's lava coming down Godzilla's neck, and I told them, no, that's just black fumes coming from the debris from the destroyed city.
I don't see anything that even resembles lava in that picture.
It's because in the trailer descriptions, the monster that is supposedly left lying dead in the city, the giant centipede, apparently it has lava dripping down its neck, and these guys that I had an argument with this morning mistaken that monster for Godzilla. And okay, I'm about to give you a quote from this guy. I'm not going to say his name because honestly I don't even remember it. I told him that lava is not coming from Godzilla's neck. He replied back that black smoke coming from his neck that resembles volcanic ashes, I don't know what to tell you. And I just responded back, dude, have you even read the trailer description? It clearly states that the other monster has lava dripping down its neck, and I'm not even sure it is lava.
No, I think it's just blood.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a fucking bug. I mean, they have differently colored blood.
or it could be this. You know how like Godzilla's plasma breath, when he strikes his target, it just, sparks fly out the enemy's wherever it is he's hit.
Oh my god, that's a good point. Remember the high tension wire scene in the original Gojira? That shit melts.
Right. It could have been that, not lava. Yeah. So people are misidentifying all these things. Misidentifying smoke for King Ghidorah, misidentifying lava on Godzilla instead of the giant centipede.
And again, this whole thing is just conceptual.
Right. Yeah, seriously. I mean, guys, we got another 2 years to go for this shit.
I know.
Or one more year. We still don't know the official release date.
Oh, you have a point there.
I'm thinking if they're going the way they're going, if they keep going the way they're going now, I think we're going to get a late 2013 release.
I hope so. The sooner the better.
But at the same time, I would also like to, if they do that, to push it back to early 2014, because then we
take your fucking time.
Because
I want this to be good.
Because then if we push it to 2014, we get would it be 60th or would it be? Yeah, it would be 60th.
60th.
Then it would be released the 60th anniversary, at least a year, anyways.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be a great tribute, but to be honest, I don't really give a shit when it comes out.
Wouldn't it be epic if like the poster is just like Godzilla's fins and just the only thing on the poster is "Happy Birthday"?
That'd be funny. All the fans would be like laughing their asses off, being like, "Yes!"
Everybody else.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
I think
Godzilla fans have their own codes. What are they, the Freemasons?
I think they are going to do that for the promotional campaign if it's released in 2014.
What's just like "Happy Birthday, Godzilla"?
Yeah.
Here's a reboot.
And then,
that's your birthday present. Here's a reboot.
Here's something else that I want to bring up that I forgot to bring up on the thing, but since we're on the topic of it, what do you guys think the title is going to be?
Godzilla, just simply Godzilla.
I'm hoping it's just Godzilla.
Am I the only one here who doesn't think it should be that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I defend why?
Yeah, sure.
Alright, so
Shut
I
up.
think the movie
Okay.
should simply be called Godzilla. Of course, the 98 film is 12 years old at this point. That's not, of course, that's not recent, but I mean, there are people who only know Godzilla through that movie. And I don't think it's a good idea for a movie that's trying to introduce the real Godzilla to a new audience to have them go in thinking this is a remake. And I'm not saying that that's going to be everyone. Like, I mean, there's still a lot of people out there who actually have brain cells and do research about movies before they go to see them. But there are a lot of people who just don't give a shit, and they'll go sit down in the movie and they're going to think it's a remake and be like, this is not the same thing.
Oh, yeah, Zazbar has a point, because you are talking about humans, and humans, believe that Justin Bieber wrote books. I know. You're talking about people who think that Queen was ripping off Justin Bieber.
Yeah. Oh, God, don't even go there.
Zanzibar, you got your shotgun ready, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
We're going Justin Bieber fan hunting, bitches.
Alright, get that shotgun ready. Enough about Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah, right. We gotta keep this shit on track. Anyway,
Never
as I
combine
was
Justin
saying-
Bieber and Godzilla in the same sentence or topic.
Justin Bieber and Godzilla.
Not unless the sentence is Godzilla stepped on Justin Bieber.
So yeah, we have like a Bambi versus like a Bambi versus Godzilla. We get Justin Bieber versus Godzilla.
I should have put this in my top 5 not to be Godzilla fights.
Well, like in South Park?
Oh my god!
Oh yes, the scene with Cthulhu and the.
Yeah.
I fucking love that.
I'm so lost.
And then you know what was funny too? There's the scene on South Park where they're trying to defend the whales and the dolphins and stuff.
Oh, that's the one.
And then all of a sudden, to keep them away, they built a giant Godzilla statue, and all the Japanese people go running. It is so funny.
Yeah.
I've got like every freaking episode of South Park on DVD, and I can't tell you how many times I've rewatched that.
Yeah, me too. Okay, back to 2014.
Oh yeah, we're on topic again.
I didn't get to finish my thought.
Oh no, continue, Zanzibar.
I was just gonna say that I don't think this movie should simply be called Godzilla because, let's face it, people, there are a lot of stupid people out there.
Well, call it Gojira.
Yeah, I'd say that would be a good idea. Or maybe I would be okay with it simply being called Godzilla 3D. Listen, I know, I'm with you guys. I don't want this movie to be in 3D either, but at least it wouldn't be called just Godzilla. Something like Godzilla Returns, or that's cliche, but something along those lines. I mean, with Batman, we didn't just. I mean, they didn't just call Nolan's Batman again. They called it Batman Begins. They came up with a different name. Then we had the Dark Knight Rises. I'd like to see something like that with Godzilla. I'm not with the people who say the movie should be called The King of the Monsters. I think that's stupid. But something along those lines, like something like Godzilla Returns, or something like that.
Godzilla Forever. No.
Oh my god, I will kill you.
I'm gonna have to counter Zanzibar's argument right there. Okay, I agree with you 50%. The other 50% I obviously don't. I think if they just simply call it Godzilla, I don't think it's gonna bring memories of the 1998 incarnation. I think, people nowadays, they do have a concept of what Godzilla is, and the general audience believe that he's this giant fire-breathing dinosaur, even though that's not fully accurate. They don't think he's the lizard from the 98 version. They just think of the Japanese creature. So if they just call it Godzilla, it wouldn't be a problem because people are gonna pay to see Godzilla anyway. They know how he looks like. They know what to expect. They're not expecting the whole iguana laying eggs in Manhattan thing. They're expecting the destructive force of nature, as I'm pretty sure Legendary is going to show on their marketing.
And yes, Zanzibar, and also I have a counter for you too. Godzilla 2000 was partially a bomb because people thought it was a sequel to Godzilla.
True.
And if you do that with this one and call it Godzilla 3D...
Oh my god.
It has a 3 in there.
Oh my god.
Godzilla 2000 had a 2.
I hate people. I hate people.
That was the big gimmick back in the 80s when you had a third movie, you called it 3D.
Jaws 3D. Yeah, I hear ya.
But do you see what I'm? Do you see my point here? I think it would only draw people away if you call it something like that. If you just call it Godzilla, we got a chance. 1998 is the epitome of why Americans are so mistaken whenever somebody brings up Godzilla. It is the reason why we are laughed at for saying we're Godzilla fans.
Yeah.
And I am sick of that.
Yeah.
Sick. I am sick of people saying the original Godzilla was made in 1998.
Oh god.
Sick.
Or did the black and white original Godzilla was made for children? Now, that really pisses me off.
And I made this into a picture, but
that's on screen. So for kids.
this is, yeah, child holding her dead mother, and then all of a sudden they give her a Geiger test, and then they just shake their heads because she's going to die too because of the amount of radiation. Yeah, that's for kids. Guy killing himself at the bottom of the ocean.
Children's fair.
Guy killing himself at the bottom of the seafloor, so that nobody could ever blackmail him, or nobody could ever torture him to the point where he reveals the secret of the oxygen destroyer. Yeah, that's meant for kids.
Yeah,
We could go on all day.
Right, back to the topic.
But I gotta say this, and this happened, and this is why I made it into a picture, and Zazbar's seen it.
Oh, I love this picture.
A bunch of people at where I go to work were like, the Japanese need to stop ripping off the American Godzilla.
What?
The American Godzilla was genius. The Japanese need to stop doing that. First off, there's not even a love story in the in the Japanese version of Godzilla, but also it's in black and white, and you could totally tell the visual effects were fake. And at the bottom I have a picture of Dr. Serizawa staring blankly at the screen saying, "I do not want to live anymore." That was my
wait.
thoughts.
People at your job said that?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Please tell me that you at least countered that argument.
Yeah, I did. I actually tore their heads off, and actually they're dead.
Thank you.
That does not surprise me.
Something cannot rip something off if it comes out after it. That's
I
not how-
know! And I'm trying to get that across.
retroactively rip things
I was
off.
trying to get that across their thick fucking skulls. But
There are no Japanese people in the future with time machines who went back and made the old Godzilla to try and rip off 98. Okay, that's not how it happened.
Hey, don't underestimate the Japanese. I mean, they could have a time machine right now. I'm just kidding.
yeah, who knows? Who
Oh,
knows?
yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh, yeah, the Japanese have everything.
They have the power glove
Except natural horses. I'm sorry.
and hentai.
Well, they got plenty of that.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Back to the subject. Back to the subject. Right, Chopper, as you were saying?
About what? The hentai?
What the fuck was I saying?
No. People at work.
Oh yeah. I was like, no, you guys don't get it. First off, the American Godzilla was made in 1998, and the original Godzilla made in Japan was made in 1954. Almost 50 years before.
Adam, people are just retarded.
People are. They
There
are.
are literally 24 movies that came before 98.
I know.
Holy shit, people are so stupid.
I know. I hate people. Narahina fan, you haven't said anything forever. Say something, damn it.
Get us back on track.
Okay? Well, here's this that we never talk about. What Godzilla roar would you like to hear in the new American Godzilla?
Oh, that's a good one. What version of his roar?
Godzilla 91 and the original Godzilla roar. The cross between those, G2000 and GMK. And
GMK's roar is the G2000 roar. My personal roar that I would use, and this is the only time I'm gonna at least try to bring it up, in my Godzilla series, I use, whenever Godzilla is trying to size something up, he's using the 89 roar. He's using the 84, 89, 91 roar. But whenever he's fighting, he's using roars from the original.
Chopper!
Yeah, I know you're talking about your series again.
And that's it. I'm done.
Okay. Alright. I'd probably... Adam said this off recording a couple days ago when we were chatting. He said he'd probably prefer to hear the Millennium Godzilla roar sitting in a movie theater. And I would have to agree with that. Except I don't really like that roar.
Blasphemy!
I think it's cool.
Blasphemy! Burn him on the stake! Burn him!
Can I finish?
No!
Keep going.
I think it's cool in the first movie, G2000.
Oh yeah.
I think it's alright in Megan Gear's, but I hate that movie anyway, so whatever. Adam, with you when you said that it doesn't work for the GMK design. I'm with you.
The GMK, that's my one complaint. The only real complaint that I have with GMK is that they used the G2000 roar.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, the G2000 roar, I can remember the first time I saw that on TV and I heard that roar and I got chills. And I was just like, what would that be like in theaters?
Yeah, well, I know, because I was there.
There was a couple roars in Godzilla history that gave me chills. And that, is, of course, is the battle roar from the Godzilla 1984. Wherever you see Godzilla snarl, that roar. And the one that probably gives me chills the most is Godzilla's death cry from the original, where he pops his head out of the water one last time and roars. Probably gives me chills the most.
I'm probably the only person who's gonna say this, but I wouldn't mind just seeing the classic Godzilla roar in theaters.
Oh, I'd like to hear any roar that other than the, stupid American cartoon roar, but
that was a guy making sounds at a sound booth.
I believe it.
I think with that series, I think they just pulled a hobo in from across the street, gave him a bunch of booze, and said, "Just throw up continuously for 6 hours." There you go.
I have to say, the fight scene between Kirk and that man in a rubber lizard suit thing on that planet, the roar for that lizard is more accurate to Godzilla than the one on friggin' the animated series. But
the Hanna-Barbera version.
Yeah.
Here's the funny thing about that: in Japan, they actually used the classic Godzilla roar.
I actually heard that. Yeah.
Well, the whole thing was copyright. I don't know what the hell the deal was, but they just couldn't get the rights to it. Anyway, final topic. I'd like to hear the classic roar in theaters. But if I wasn't allowed to have that, 91 roar, the 84 to 91 roar for me.
Super DM.
I'd probably go for the original. I really love when the movie first opens and you see the credits and you just hear that one roar that's like really deep and like echoey and. But yeah, so something classic like that.
Right.
Because I think it would go along with the whole, he's back thing.
Gorazard.
This taking it back to the original Gojira.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Gorazard.
Especially if they do decide to make it a sequel to the original, which they're probably not going to do. But
no, I think it's going to be a full-fledged. This is the first time he's appeared, which I'm not. I'm kind of.
I'm against. I'm personally against that, but.
I want to see what they do with it first.
Me too. But
the only thing I want to say is, as long as he was born in 1954, he can appear now. That's fine. But if you're telling me, oh yeah, this Godzilla was born 2010, I'm gonna be pissed.
Me too.
Yeah, because it brings up the question: nuclear bombs have been around all that time. Why is he the first one?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Gorazard.
In the 50s, it's more like, oh, this is a recent thing.
Gorazard, what roar would you want to hear this Godzilla roaring?
Okay, I may be the only one who's going to say this. And Chopper, I said this to you yesterday through Facebook.
Well, yeah, but honestly, you didn't say it on camera.
Right, but I honestly don't want Legendary to use any of the recycled roars of Godzilla's past films. I honestly want them to create a new roar. Not exactly drastically change the roar to something else. I want them to, create a brand new roar for the character. The reason why Godzilla has different roars for each different film is because he looks different, and each new roar suits how the new Godzilla looks. So naturally, the way this Godzilla looks, the roar has to be
complementary to that.
Huh?
Complementary to the design.
You're right. It has to be concept. I don't want to say that word.
Complimentary. Say it, Gorazard. Everybody now. Complimentary. Come on, let's all say it. Complimentary.
I don't think this chat changed to Hooked on Phonics.
Okay.
High five to the computer.
That was awesome.
Alright, Alright, anyways, but I don't, okay, I'm just gonna close up and say, I don't want a recycled roar from past Godzilla films. I want a new roar, you know. And that's the tradition of the Godzilla films, you always get a new roar.
Well, Gorazard, I would agree with you, but I think we are going to get a recycled roar.
I mean, I might actually have to go with Gorazard now that he's brought it up. I think we might have a better version of what they tried to do in 1998. And I'm gonna say right now, I don't hate the 1998 roar. Like,
I do. Sounds like a douchebag.
I appreciate it for that. It's an attempt to rework that classic roar. I think they ultimately did fail, but I don't hate it. I definitely do appreciate it. But I'd like to hear if we are going to get a new roar, which I actually, thinking about it now, would kind of prefer that, because one of my problems with the GMK movie is that roar does not fit that design. And I'm with Gorazard on that, but I'd like to hear a bellowy reworking of the classic roar. That's what I'd like to hear. A deeper, more intimidating version of the classic, everyone's going to laugh at me, but 62 Godzilla roar. The classic 62 to 68 Godzilla roar.
Right, yeah, I just want them to create a new roar, but not to change it drastically enough that you can't tell that it's Godzilla's roar. Because you know, when they create the new roar, you can tell that it's Godzilla. Similar to like the Batman design in Christopher Nolan's films. It looks like a super soldier if you take off the cape, but you can still tell it's Batman.
Well, and if you take off the cowl.
Right. So yeah, Zanzibar sees the point I'm getting. You do, right?
I absolutely agree. It's body armor, basically.
Right. And I follow the same basic principle for the roar. You know, make it new, but you know, still make it Godzilla.
Okay. Does anybody else have any thoughts on that before I move on to the next topic on my list?
Maybe instead of hiring a drunk hobo, they should hire a drunk prostitute to do the roar.
What would be the difference?
Well, the drunk prostitute would sound more like a more than a.
It's not quite as deep.
Yeah.
Adam sees my point.
Yeah. And I appreciate your point.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Next subject is the other monster. What the fuck is it?
I've heard rumors that it's either a giant centipede or a six-limbed monster.
Why the fuck are they doing that?
I can honestly see why, because, bear with me on this. Since Garrett Edwards is going with the gritty, realistic aspect of it, what if Godzilla somehow... Okay, you know how like people get radiation poisoning or sickness from Godzilla's attack in the original Gojira?
Yeah.
Yep.
What if Godzilla's attack somehow had an impact on animalistic environment? It infected an insect.
I'm with you. That's what I'd like to see.
That's what I'm thinking that he might go with.
Yeah.
Zanzibar, you should be agreeing with me on this. After all, you do hate friggin' Son of Godzilla, and you hate the fact that he's fighting giant insects.
But, let me defend myself. I don't think we're just going to get one monster in this. If we did, this whole teaser
Yeah, me neither.
Giving away,
Yeah, me neither. I don't think this is just a precursor to one of the monsters that he's fighting.
Yeah, if it was, then, you know, the whole movie's been spoiled. I mean, that's what the teaser trailer is. It's basically saying, yeah, Godzilla won at the end. Basically, anyway, I'd like to see Godzilla fight a whole bunch of creatures that he's irradiated, and not necessarily insects, but maybe some more creative things. Like maybe a couple of mixes of other monsters, of other animals, maybe something like Biollante, maybe not exactly that, but something like that, like a bunch of mix of stuff. One of the original ideas for the monster King Kong was supposed to fight back in King Kong versus Prometheus, before they turned it into King Kong versus Godzilla, was he was going to fight a monster created by Dr. Frankenstein.
I'm sorry. King Kong versus Prometheus?
Yeah. That's what it was called.
Initially.
Okay.
Anyway, so that happened. So he was supposed to fight a monster created by Dr. Frankenstein that was sewn up of a bunch of animals. Now, obviously, that idea can't work with Godzilla because it wouldn't be big enough. But I'd like to see maybe a bunch of pathogens and one-cell organisms bunch up together and form some kind of brand new monster, and maybe they mesh in with a bunch of dead animals. You know, something like that. Something creative. I don't.
That sounds like Hedorah, except without pollution.
Maybe a little bit. But
because I have to admit, the Hedorah's concept is interesting because it is that. It's a bunch of single-celled organisms joining together and forming this blob of gunk.
Godzilla is literally fighting a giant piece of shit.
Yeah.
But saying that, I don't want to see Godzilla just fight a giant wolf. That would be weird.
Yeah.
So that's where I come down on that.
Also, a lot of people are misidentifying the monster as either Batra or Mothra.
Guilty as charged.
I don't see how you misidentify it as that.
Me neither.
First of all, the larva versions of Mothra and Batra are caterpillars, not centipedes.
To my defense, when you sent me that first text, you said caterpillar.
No, I didn't. I said centipede.
No, you said caterpillar. I will bring out the text message right now.
Yes, you will. I can't.
Chris is on the phone. I'll have to hang up.
You lie! There, another Arnold Schwarzenegger line
Hold
for
on,
you.
I'm gonna get my phone. Look, where is that goddamn Metro PCS piece of shit?
That's me. Get back on fucking topic, goddammit.
Okay. So, Super DM. Hi. Since we're the only two sane ones here right now.
Oh, that's not fair.
Haha.
I tie my shoes normally.
What do you think, Super DM?
About
The monster.
I agree with what Zesbar said, that I don't want to just see like a giant wolf or some sort of like giant animal. Like, I know we're getting a giant centipede, or at least that's what they're saying. I want to see something more creative. Like, the thing about the older monsters, you have like Megalon and Gigan. Those are really unusual monsters. Things you don't see every day. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this doesn't need to be like 2002's Hulk, where all of a sudden you have big dogs.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And then David Banner. Oh Jesus.
Which is interesting in concept, but it wasn't very good. But anyway, yeah. So I don't want to just see your run-of-the-mill. Oh, now there's a giant cat attacking. They need to be something interesting.
Look out! It's a giant pussy.
Shh. Gorazard is on the other line. Shh. Don't get him excited.
Oh jeez.
But
Oh my god! Imagine
if you completely reboot.
What happened?
If you were completely rebooting Godzilla, I think he should be alone for the first movie.
I'm with you.
But there's a part of me that thinks this might be a complete reboot, and there's a part of me that just thinks that this is going to be a sequel-ish. 1954 is going to happen, but like the Oxygen Destroyer is not going to happen, which I don't like, but they're going to do that.
The only thing I need is a mention of some attack in the past.
Right. And if they do that, then Godzilla doesn't have to be alone.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Narhina fan, do you have anything to say?
Well, me personally, I think they should either go more the route with like Space Godzilla or Destroyer.
You mean you want him to go the more badass route?
I want to go more on the lines of
something.
The threat is a threat. It's not just a threat to the United States. It's a threat to the world itself. And we have to deal with the thing immediately. Because if we don't, it could literally wipe the human race out of this entire planet. And you'll fight back by force if you have to.
Yeah, but I don't want to see Mechagodzilla.
Oh, me neither. First movie, no, not Mechagodzilla.
Way too soon.
As much as I love Mechagodzilla, I agree.
Well, at least explain that Godzilla against Mechagodzilla made in 2002. That Godzilla's been attacking periodically before,
Yeah.
and so they have a reason why they build him finally.
Although it is really contrived that the day they unveil him, bam, he's here.
That's like I said this in the last World War II chat. Mechagodzilla should be a response to Godzilla.
Yeah, and if they're doing this as a complete reboot, they need to wait a few movies.
Right.
Damn it, I can't find that text. So, Zanzibar, our little argument's gonna have to be put on hold.
Indeed.
Bastards.
But I did say centipede.
No, you didn't. You said Caterpillar.
Well, good, that was still arguing good.
You both said worm. There.
Alright, fine.
Oh my god, so it's that thing from Godzilla the Animated Series.
Oh God.
You know, in the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, Godzilla does fight a giant centipede at one point.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, guys, on to our next subject. Gareth Edwards' intent.
Yeah, I know. The giant worm. Nick is having his favorite thing in the world. The horror.
May I please start out with his intentions?
Yes, Gorzard, please talk about the subject in which I want to speak about. Please do it.
Chopper knows that I've been defending Gareth Edwards this whole time, and I've been a huge supporter of Edwards ever since he's been brought on this project. I never had a single dot of negativity towards him and how he would treat Godzilla, and I still believe, and he has confirmed this, his intentions are pure. He really wants to deliver the Godzilla that we've always wanted to see, and he clearly said, I've always wanted to see this type of Godzilla movie, and you know, he thanked Legendary for supporting his vision on the film. And I just strongly believe that Gareth Edwards' intentions, his goal, is to make my dream come true. And Zanzibar, you know what it is. I texted you it.
What is it? Because I don't know it.
Remind me.
First of all, you gotta ask the question, what is it you're after? Say it.
What is your after?
The restoration of a world when kaijus ran rampant and hardcore boys like us didn't have to hide behind a computer screen.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah.
I
Anyways,
want
I'm not
giant
saying that
monsters.
Gareth Edwards is doing this. I'm just saying that he's doing that with Godzilla. He's bringing back the Godzilla that, you know, all of us here at this chat know and love. We all know that he's the nuclear weapons allegory type of creature. He's not the dumb, you know, creature that most of the Western audiences believe him to be. He's the creature born out of atomic bombs, and he's trying to bring that creature back to us and also show Western audiences this is Godzilla. This is why we love him. This is why we became fans in the first place. This is why you should love it too.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
I would say, may I go next, or?
No, Zazbar, you may never speak again. You are fired from breathing. No, go ahead.
Alright, yay. I want to say that, I would say that his bare bones intent, he kind of said it, was to,
Lose his virginity! No, sorry.
Yes. His whole reason for making this movie is to lose his virginity for real. I hope not. But here's what I was gonna say. His intent really is to explore what would a Godzilla attack be like in present day? What effects would it have? And that's an exploration or a direction well worth taking, in my opinion. Because the '98 movie didn't even touch on that. And of course, the original Gojira was about exploring what effects it would have in post-World War II, 1954 Japan. Well, what kind of effects would it have on a post-World War II, but perhaps more importantly, post-9/11 America.
America.
And I think that's a very worthwhile direction to take the character. But also, I think his intentions is more or less to bring Godzilla into the reality of today, and explore him in that regard.
No. Here's the thing, too, that I don't think we're getting with Gareth Edwards. I don't think we're getting a Godzilla 2000-esque reboot, because Godzilla 2000, let's be honest, was completely made out of homages.
would say Godzilla 2000 is more of a... It's
Tribute.
It's about as escapist as Godzilla movies can get and still be dark.
Yeah. It's definitely paying tribute to all the Showa ones.
Yeah, but it does retain some form of darkness in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, you didn't get my point.
No, I absolutely know what you're saying. I was just saying that it definitely had that Showa campy kind of sci-fi alien invasion stuff, but it was still a little. It still had its Gojira roots somewhat intact.
Okay. Super DM? Super DM, are you there?
He said he'll be right back.
No, he's AFK.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he'll be back in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay. One thing I want to add about the whole realistic aspect of it. I've had comments from fans on all three of my Godzilla 3D videos saying, wait, he's going back to the realistic thing? Oh no, they're going to treat it like 1998 all over again. Okay, if those people who think that this film is going to fail because of the realistic aspect of it, let me just clear it up right now. The original Godzilla film and even Godzilla 84 were realistic Godzilla films.
Right.
The 1998 Godzilla film was never intended to be a realistic approach on Godzilla. Ever. There is no confirmation on this at all. And that's not the reason why the 1998 film failed, because of a lack of realism.
No, because it was a shitty movie.
Right.
Right. I would genuinely have to agree with that. I'm sorry, I haven't really eaten anything all day. Well, now it'd be the next morning, but I am kind of snacking out on something right now, and I'm really sorry about that. It's very unprofessional, but been a busy man
This is
today.
not professional at all. We're a bunch of Godzilla fans just shooting the shit.
Right. Now, Rahina fan, do you have anything you want to add?
I trust the man. He's going to do what's right, but he's got an entire company filled with Godzilla fans to back him up.
Me too. As I said, I had no faith in Gareth Edwards at all. Now I do. I have complete faith in him. I think he knows what he's going to do in that director's chair. I think he knows what he wants us to do. Definitely knows what he wants us to do in that director's chair. And
Yeah.
I gotta be honest though, he's got a lot of pressure on him.
Oh, yeah. But I think it's good pressure. He's getting pressure from the right people, the fans.
Yeah.
Not the studio. The studio seems to be, in my opinion, very hands-off this production.
From what we know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so far they're very much so just letting him do what he wants. And I think they're learning from what happened with 98, because that movie ultimately failed because of massive studio interference.
Yes.
And also because of Roland Emmerich.
Well, that was due to the massive studio interference. That's why we got him. With this movie, I feel like they're saying, all right, Sony got way too involved in that movie. They got the right people off the project and the wrong people into the project. That's why the movie was garbage. Let's get the right people on the project. Let them do what they want. Let the Godzilla fans make the movie they want to see, and then make our money because of that.
I would agree with Zazbar. Yeah.
And that's ultimately why I think that this is going to be the movie that makes the traditional, the Godzilla that we love, a major pop culture icon, or at least more so than he's been in a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, don't forget, we're talking about a monster who won the Lifetime Achievement Award and the Hall of Fame.
And it doesn't hurt that Patrick Stewart gave that, and Patrick Stewart is awesome.
Yeah.
I love Patrick Stewart.
Lieutenant Picard.
Yeah. Captain Picard.
Oh, my bad. I was thinking of something else.
Captain Picard. I'm the Trekkiest here. Captain fucking Picard. Don't you ever make that mistake. He was only Lieutenant Picard in one episode, and that was an alternate history episode. Bastard.
Adam, there's the shotgun.
Bastard. Alright, so I guess we've all just stated.
Well, Super DM hasn't gone yet. He's back.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Super DM.
Oh, you're fine. I really didn't have an opinion about Gareth Edwards before because I'm probably the only one here who hasn't seen Monsters yet.
Eat Gad!
Eat
Yeah,
Gads and
sorry.
Gadzook. It's Godzuki. Me.
But so really, I came into this thing pretty optimistic because I don't know much about the guy, and from what I've seen so far, he's not letting me down.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna get a good film out of this guy. I think his intentions are in the right place.
And I recommend Monsters, by the way.
Yeah, it's a very good modern monster movie.
I plan on seeing it. I just haven't got around to it yet.
I like Monsters because it's independent.
Yeah.
And we got a very good movie with it having such a low budget.
Yeah, the only thing that really bothers it with me is just the acting, but I don't think that's Edward's fault.
Yeah.
I think that's just ultimately the money he had to work with, but, I mean, this is a movie with a huge budget, so I think we're not going to have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
All right, so that really concludes my list. Because we've sort of talked about whatever the hell was left in other stuff. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one.
Oh, you can go.
Chris, go for it.
Okay. Firstly, I wonder what Godzilla's atomic breath's gonna look like.
Hopefully blue.
Yeah. If they don't go with blue, go with it Godzilla 2000 style anyways.
I'm not compromising on the blue. I want my Godzilla breath blue. Damn it.
Oh, me too. Well, no, I can't say it because it has to do with my Godzilla series. But the only thing that I'm going to say about it is fire Godzilla, or
Well,
basically.
at least you have a reason for it.
Yeah, I have a reason for mine. But
I mean, if they do it in this movie, it's just gonna be like, oh, it's red because.
oh, it's red because it's red.
Yeah.
If they make it any,
a better way to put it.
I worry that if they make it any color other than blue, it's going to reaffirm the people who think he breathes fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Godzilla 2000 did that. Yeah.
And I'm not saying pure blue. I'm saying like GMK's breath. I love GMK plasma breath.
Yeah.
I think that would look great with a CGI Godzilla.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I don't think as much with the Final Wars Godzilla breath, or the 0203 Godzilla breath. I think the GMK one would look the best.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say about on the matter, I've been getting comments from people saying that they're very cautiously optimistic about the film. All I gotta say to those people is relax. Godzilla is in good hands. It's being made by the right people. They will not disappoint.
And this is coming from the guy who didn't think it'd be a good movie before. I have to agree with Gorzard now. I think we can just relax now. I think Godzilla is in good hands.
Right.
Yeah.
This is from the same studio who made The Dark Knight, who made The Hangover, Inception. It's in good hands. It's in the wisest studio in Hollywood.
Hell, man, Godzilla had a cameo in The Hangover.
Right.
Oh my god, that was so funny. That was the one joke I think I was laughing at the hardest, and nobody else was laughing, really.
I was the same way.
I was like, I hate God. He's like, I hate Godzilla. He destroys things and kills people.
I hate him.
And I'm like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's having
Really?
a geek fest.
People were laughing at that joke in my theater.
I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it on DVD for the first time.
Well, people were
Apparently,
laughing at
that's
it. People were laughing at that in theaters for different reasons than me.
Well, they know Godzilla as just like, oh, that's a giant monster, right?
That attacks Asia, and
Like we were understanding, like, oh, he's Asian, and
that's really funny.
That's kind of racist, and that's kind of part of the joke, and
Because it's coming from that Galifianakis' character, he can say racist things and get away with it.
yeah,
Yes.
totally.
He can say anything and get away with it.
Alan's my favorite.
He could say the line, "I like to rape pandas," and not be questioned.
Oh well, now that we are
see that joke making its way into the movie.
now that this is completely off topic.
Indeed.
Does anybody have any final thoughts? Or have we covered everything?
Yes.
Pupils or no pupils for Godzilla's eyes? And do you want even to be able to see the eyes?
Pupils. And yes.
Pupil.
I wouldn't mind, I don't want to say, like, you can't see his eyes at all, but I wouldn't mind the shadowy kind of eyes that we got in the Biollante suit.
No, I want pupils.
Well, no, he had...
I'm not compromising.
Well. But his eyebrow was so big that it kind of cast a shadow over it. I really like the look of that.
I want this Godzilla to have a feeling like he knows what he's doing, and you can capture that with eyes.
So you want the, I don't know if I want the classic or the original looking down.
I don't want that, but I want him to be like looking downwards, but I don't want him to have the original eyes.
Yeah, I'm with
the
you.
original eyes work for the original one, and that's pretty much it.
And of course they were a purebred accident.
Yes.
See, that's the thing about CG. He's going to be able to move his pupils, so he can look down and look up, look wherever he wants to look.
Yeah, but without motion capture, it's going to look like shit.
That's true. But
GMK did it the best out of all the suits. Out of all the suits, GMK did the head tilting thing the best.
I think that Godzilla had the best animatronic face.
Yes.
Of all of them.
Yeah. I'd agree.
So expressive.
Guarzard, you wanted to say something?
Yes, actually, I wanted to say 4 things.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
As a matter of fact, okay, just since we're about to wrap this up, I just want to wrap up a few things too. Okay, to people listening to this and having doubts that it's going to work because of realism, this movie will not fail because of the realistic aspect to it. If anything, it will do the opposite. It will succeed because of that. I mean, look at the Christopher Nolan Batman films. They're gritty, realistic films. Also, this is not a remake. It's a reboot. Major difference, people.
Yes, this is true.
Also, Godzilla is not the one dripping lava from his neck. It's the other monster. And for the record, the other monster is not Mothra or Batra.
Or Megaguirus.
Or Megaguirus.
Well, if we were saying it's Megaguirus, it would be Meganora. The different
Meganora.
one.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. That's what's correct.
It's not okay, Adam. I'm taking a chip away from your Godzilla fan card.
We have a fan card?
Yes. Don't you have one?
We need a fan bus, is what we need.
Dude, wouldn't it be epic if, like, all of us saw it at the same time in one theater?
Hey, Zanzibar.
What?
Shut up. Continue, Gorzard.
I finished.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
See, I didn't interrupt him. I was agreeing with him.
Hey, Zanzibar.
What?
Shut up.
Okay.
I was expecting I'm sorry.
No. Ah, my camera. Oh, well, that'll be funny on the
sorry,
audio.
have a cupcake.
Oh my god, Adam, I dropped my phone at the same time you dropped your camera.
Oh, man, that'd be funny. That'd be funny on the audio. Like, people just be like, ah, what the fuck?
Chris, you still alive? I just totally dropped my phone.
oh my god, he's dead.
He did. Oh, my God, he's dead. Oh, my God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Who here knows digital CPR?
You killed him, Bill. You killed him.
Kill Bill. No.
It wasn't my fault. I blame Adam. He was yelling at me.
Son of a bitch. Would you stop pointing the gun at my dad? Sorry. You guys probably haven't seen Reservoir Dogs.
For me, go get Bill and kill him and bring his body back to me so I can tear him limb by limb.
Oh.
Where is it?
Here I have risen. May God have mercy on us all.
ZGC in joke. Oh yeah.
For the record, it's my line.
Well, this was very
We are
entertaining.
so off track.
This was a very entertaining chat.
Indeed.
I enjoyed it. So I guess I'm going to wrap it up. And I'm just going to say this. Godzilla's reboot thing, it's in good hands. People can stop worrying now. It is in good hands. I think we're going to get something that the original creators of Godzilla would be happy with. So, I'm Adam Noyes. Zazubar, say goodbye.
Bye. I'm Zazubar. Forever. Don't forget that.
Super DM, say goodbye.
Bye. I'm Super DM. 64.
Yeah. Gorzard, say goodbye.
Sayonara, I'm Godzilla.
Gorz, you're actually Gorzard, whatever the fuck number you're on now.
He's got 2 accounts now, fuckers.
I have. It's my 7th account, but technically I had 10 accounts.
That's intense.
Fucking YouTube, man.
And Narahina fan, say goodbye.
Arigato, people. Arigato, and have a safe journey in your next lives, because I'm going to kill you all in the near future.
And he's not just saying that.
Nope.
No, I will literally hunt you down. If I do that, I'm killing Barack Obama first, then all you is next. Love you!
So Adam is so with you, it's scary.
Yeah, like I don't like Obama. Especially after the comment that he made recently.
Wasn't this a Godzilla video?
I'm sorry. Anybody who
When
thinks
did we get an Obama?
I'm sorry. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to end the video. Small businesses do not need the government's help to start. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so this is Adam Noyes from Tropic Pilot 5 saying sayonara. Thank you for listening. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to all these dudes. They're pretty cool. Not as cool as me, but they're pretty cool.
I disagree.
And I shall...
Screw them, they're all assholes. You don't want to talk to these guys. They're all bastards, you know? They suck ass.
Yes, they all suck.